I know some of them will use dust to perform ablution today. From today. That is what they call tayammum. Tayammum. In the absence of water, you can use dust to perform ablution. In other words, you touch the dust and you use it around your hands, and you can go into the mosque and pray where there is no water. Necessity is the mother of invention. Next time you go to the ballot box, remember that we all voted for a very dishonest, unpatriotic, pot-bellied, oversized suit-wearing president, whose only interest, my brother, my sister, was to live his childhood fantasies, preach virtues to us, yet deceptively, like the proverbial mother serpent of corruption, encourage corruption in all spheres. The proverbial clearing agent, ready to encourage all sorts of rot. And today in Christmas, when the people are on the streets running around, in fact, they are just running around because they now know what kind of government is in power. And they are jubilating that they have come to know you. They are ready to kick you out. To God be the glory. I sympathize with you. 4 Ghana cedis. Right now, you buy pure water at 6 Ghana cedis. To God be the glory. I'll leave it here. Now I'm going to tackle another thing which is very interesting. And I need all of us to open our ears and listen with rapt attention. Oh my God. Sometimes when I see things like this, I cringe. My brother, my sister, pure water is now selling at 40 pesos. It used to be 20 pesos. Now, it is 40 pesos. And listen to what I'm reading next. And I'm reading this from the National Communicator, the Daily Graphic, online. It says, Ghana's economy will recover in 2022, 2023. And this is attributed to the careless utterances of a nonchalant, careless president, Nana Akufo-Addo. I read. Remember that pure water is selling at 40 pesos right now. 100% increase. And what is the reason? That prices of inputs are rising. Some are blaming it on the depreciation of the cedi. Mr. President said it is not his fault. That he knows that Ghanaians are suffering. But it is not his fault. My brother, my sister, can you trust this old man again? When he came to us, he told us that the problem was with the leadership. Today he's turned around like the dishonest serpent of corruption that he's always been, looking for a chance to fulfill his childhood fantasies of being president, because his father was an honorary president. And he succeeded in fooling all of us. My brother, my sister, he told us that the problem with Ghana was a problem of leadership. On my way, and yet, oh, here my na yetisi council na yebre. All of a sudden, the rhetoric has changed. He is saying that he knows we are suffering, but it's no longer a leadership problem. It is a problem with the world. Everybody is suffering. At the time that he told us that we were suffering because of bad leadership, the whole world was still suffering. There will never be a time that everybody in the world will be happy and not be suffering, because we all do not believe in hard work. Some people believe in laziness. They will continue to suffer. But when you live in a country where people break their backs in order to make money, it is so sad that a president, a dishonest president like Nana Akufo-Addo, will come and be playing chess with our minds. An irresponsible president like Nana Akufo-Addo. Why am I using the word irresponsible? You are suffering, but I am not responsible for your suffering. Is that not an irresponsible president? What was the promise you gave us? That you would mitigate the suffering. And you diagnosed the problem at that time as the problem of leadership. All of a sudden, it is because the whole world is suffering. That is why we are also suffering. You have agreed that we are suffering. Yet the urchins around him, the scavengers around him, political scavengers around him like Chairman Woon to me, with no shame. I don't like those guys. They go around saying that Ghana and the Nana Akufo-Addo is better than the United States of America and is better than the United Kingdom. In fact, when you allow idiots like this to talk like that, my brother, my sister, you know what happens? They seem to believe that they are convincing you. When idiots like this talk, you shut them down one time. But at the whole political meeting, this guy came out making so much noise that Ghana, under a dishonest, irresponsible president like Nana Akufo-Addo, is better than the United States of America and better than the United Kingdom. Better in what? Corruption. Better in what? Galamsey. Better in what? Currency depreciation. Better in what? Tribalism. Better in what? Nepotism. Better in what? Pluralism. Better in what? Nyafu didiism. My brother, my sister, we have to get serious. When we all are trying our best to survive, and it's so difficult for us to survive as a people, and you will see some people come around you and tell you, or make mockery of your livelihood, make a mockery of your struggle, your hustle, then you know that, my brother, my sister, you are dealing with idiots. You are dealing with people who are taking you for granted. It looks like Nana Akufo-Addo only likes people around him who are bootlickers, political urchins, and scavengers, licking his boots everywhere he goes, so that in his oversized suit he feels adequate. Well, Mr. President says next year the economy will be better. Next 2 years the economy will be better. Let's read. President Akufo-Addo has expressed optimism that 2022 and 2023 would be the years of recovery and revitalization of Ghana's economy from the shocks of COVID-19. He said already, there are clear signs that the economy is bouncing back strongly, just as there are welcome indications that the global economy is also recovering. That's an ostrich of a president. It's good to be optimistic, but when you are optimistic over nothing, then you are a buffoon. May I come again? I'm saying it's good to be optimistic, but when you are optimistic over nothing, it's no more optimism, it's buffoonery. May I break it down? My brother, you know that it is always good to be hopeful. But when you are hopeful over nothing, then you are a fool. You are a fool. Hey, you go to the examination room with all hope that you are going to pass. Now you get into the examination room. You did not study anything, but you still had hope that you would pass. You went into the examination room. You couldn't answer a single question. All you wrote on the paper is, God help me. Forgetting that God only helps those who help themselves. Then you close the paper and come out jubilating that you have hope that you pass. You are a fool. If I'm using harsh words, tell me that I'm using harsh words. Find me a word for fool. Maybe unwise. It's so sad, my brother. Right now, this country has become an ostrich country. We blame our inadequacies on COVID-19. Our taps are not flowing, COVID-19. Dumso, COVID-19. Tribalism, COVID-19. Foolish MPs are boxing each other in the parliament house. Hey, COVID-19. President is flying in his plane, showering on us and eating food that his family never dreamt of. COVID-19. National Security Minister modeling in front of a prostitute's camera. COVID-19. The Blakk Stars against South Africa. Hey, there's a big fight. Hey, South Africa says that the Blakk Stars cheated. COVID-19. In this country, we are so good at blaming our woes on our own foolishness and inadequacies. Last night, I was on the road, and then there was this trot driver who was not watching the road and where he was going, and he veered into my lane. I honked, bing, but it was too late. He had already hit the side of my car. When I braked, he went ahead and was asking me why was I speeding? Where are you so much in a hurry to go? You know what? When I'm confronted with things like this, I start to pray. Because when I lose my temper, if I don't slaughter you, then you have to slaughter me quickly. I stopped and went over to him. And what did he tell me? Hey, you were running too much. Why are you? I said, hey, listen. You have destroyed my car. You are going to pay for it. You guys are so stupid. You are never ready to accept your faults. This is a road. People make mistakes. You would not be the first person to make a mistake. Why would you not accept that you made a mistake so that we will talk like human beings? Is it because you don't want to pay? You lie, you will pay for it. If you don't slaughter me tonight, I will slaughter you. His mate called him aside and told him that, Master, I have never told you this. But remember, when you were veering into that lane, I told you that you should watch out. It's your fault. Of course, he knew who I was. And when he came back after a split second, he started apologizing. I said, let's behave like human beings. Let us take the bull by the horn. Let us not behave like cowards. Would you become less of a man when you accept your faults? Would you become less of a human being when you face reality? But they have something they call takashi. The Gombes call it Nimraya Mangle. Takashi. Then you are right when you know you are wrong. My brother, my sister, hear me now. This is what the president is doing. He's behaving like that trot driver last night. Hey! Water is selling at 100% the price. And it's not any properly packaged water. Pure water. Sachet water. How many developed countries don't use sachet water anymore? We still are using that. We have hope that we will grow. Water is not flowing in your taps. Electricity is still a menace in this country. Tribalism is a huge problem. Your own finance minister, who is lying to your pot-belly self that the economy will be better next year and next 2 years, has become the most borrowing finance minister the world has ever seen in recent times. To the point that Kwame Pianim, a Yale-trained economist, says it's a disgrace, it's a shame to this country's finance ministry. And that is nothing but a borrowing and spending budget officer and not a finance minister. With all these jobs coming from within your own party, Mr. President still has the pot-bellied vim, audacity to come to us and tell us that have hope. Because he's behaving like that student who studied nothing and went into the examination hall and all he could write was, God help me. Couldn't answer any question. Yet he comes out like an ostrich telling everybody that he's going to pass because he's the only one who knows God. How is this economy going to get better? With the World Bank on our case night and day, telling us that we are over borrowing. How is this economy going to bounce back with you and your family plundering the taxpayers' money without accounting to us? How is this economy going to bounce back when your finance minister is busily treating his kidneys, when he should be concentrating on the market trends and all that? How would this economy bounce back when your MPs and ministers are in parliament punching each other and showing each other bukomism? Tell me. I want to be educated. It hurts me. That's why I gave you those two scenarios. The scenario of the student who studied nothing yet he foolishly believed that he would pass. That is not optimism. It is tomfoolery. Better still, buffoonery. Inordinate ambition. Ambitions that are out of coordinates. You call those ambitions inordinate ambitions. Ambitions that can never stand the test of time. Ambitions that are nothing but what my grammar teacher in school would perfectly call hobbledehoy. Jesus have mercy. Hallelujah. I salute you, sir, wherever you are. Oh my God, today I remember you. Hobbledehoy ambitions. How is this going to work? I'll grow up so I free anopa. My brother, the Nigerians have a beautiful proverb that I like. They say, the dance starts with just a clap. And that's how the dance starts. Agro beswa efi anopa. If the dance is going to start, my brother, my sister, it will start with a clap. But how can one hand clap? Every other person says, One man in an oversized suit with his cousin, who is supposed to be a Yale-trained economist, is totally blown out of proportion. And they are sitting here telling us things that even Satan finds very, very obnoxious. Hallelujah. Well, yes, it is our wish. We all want to see a beautiful economy. We all want to be happy that our economy has bounced back good, so that when we go to South Africa, we would have respect from the Zulus. We will not be chased around and be slaughtered like our brethren from Nigeria, our brethren from Zimbabwe. Yes, we want a good economy, so that we all, when we start moving around the world, we would have some respect. Nobody would see us as scavengers coming to take over their leftovers. When your economy is strong, wherever you go, you have respect. That is why when the British people come here, even though you hate them that much, you still will shake hands with them and give them that plastic smile, because they have an economy in their pocket that is very strong. That is why in your year of return, you are looking not for your brethren, but for people coming from America with a big fat economy lingering in their pockets. That is why at the airports, at the year of return, you want to find out from them how much they are bringing into the country to invest, rather than how big their heart of love is at the point of entry. Hallelujah. I'm speaking in parables. Some people will take a whole season to understand. This is a shameful government. It's a very, very shameless, irresponsible government. You claim you are that historian. You stood in front of the French Prime Minister. You spoke a lot of history, all the way from Accra to Zimbabwe. You spoke about Ya Asantewa, spoke about Ndewra Jakpa, and went all the way to even talk about Mashingo, about the great walls of Zima, Zimbabwe. You talked about the Niger. You talked about all these wonderful things across Africa and beyond. And when everybody clapped for you, especially when you said, we know how to make this economy work again. We know how to bring it back to life. But what we don't know is to give life to the dead. In the wake of the COVID-19, you are the applause of the whole world. When you instituted the year of return, even our dead ancestors woke up from their graves and applauded you, because you're on the right track. Little did they know that you are a traitor, hopeless traitor. At the point of entry, now you want to test them and inject them. At the point of entry, you want to send them back because of a certain vaccine that they are not ready to take yet. You have to force them. At the point of entry, they have to declare to you how much money they are bringing into your country. Hallelujah. It doesn't take too long to know who a traitor is. And Nana Akufo-Addo is that traitor without apology. Today is telling us that the economy will balloon next year and next 2 years. We have heard that too many times from your broken taped statements. We are tired and fed up. The brightest time this country would have been one of the best in the world. The country of Pan-Africanism, as called by Fela Ransome Kuti. Fela described Ghana in his book, Jesus have mercy, Fela, the beach of life. Those of you who haven't read it, find it and read it. He described Ghana as the country of Pan-Africanism. Of course, Fela was right. The country of Kwame Nkrumah. Now they are forcing their fathers and grandfathers to be part of Pan-Africanism they themselves never even understood. They don't believe in Pan-Africanism. All your fathers and grandfathers were busily wearing suits, tailcoats, eating like the white man and talking like the white man, ready to sell out our country to the white man. Today you call them Pan-Africanists. You must be crazy. I'm glad I speak to them like this, my brother. Hear me now, brethren. That would have been the greatest opportunity. But Ghana Airways was absent. They made all the money for Rwandan Air. British Airways. I don't even have a problem with Rwandan Air. I have a problem with British Airways. They only send cockroach-infested, bed-bug-infested planes from the UK all the way down to Africa because you are less of human beings and your presidents and governors have no sense. Cockroach-infested planes. You sit in a British Airways plane and insects are biting you left, right, and center. Your balls everywhere is itching. You want to find out what is happening, and you see that you are sitting in the hub of bed bugs and cockroaches. Do they respect you? They don't. Hey, if you are worth the price of gold, don't stoop too low and price yourself as charcoal until you start rejecting foolishness. What my friend would say, bullshit. You would live in a toilet. Think about it, brethren. What is happening to us? What the heck is happening to us? You made all the money for British Airways. You made all the money for Delta. You made all the money for all the American and British and Japanese and Korean and Chinese planes. There was no Ghana Airways. Your dumb minister of tourism came. We have made millions and we are going to build statues and we are going. Ratted. Look at the brains in power. No brain. Because somebody gave you some 2 pesos at a time you were campaigning to be president. When you become president, by all means you must put them in ministerial positions. How will the country grow, brethren? How? So you end up having stupid ministers all over the place, no brains. And they are walking around. All they are thinking about is the next avenue to steal. Kleptomaniacs in power so they can satisfy their gluttonous appetites. Jesus have mercy. Gluttons in power. Corrupt gluttons in power. Jesus. So they have no mercy. They have no respect for our ancestors. President says that next year will be good. Hallelujah. I want to see the country get better. But as Baumia says, I see when the fundamentals are weak, what will expose you? Can somebody continue? When the fundamentals are weak, what will expose you? To God be the glory. My brother, my sister, the next thing I want to look at is this. And I need you to come along with me because it's very important. Yes, it's very, very important. Oh, Jesus, have mercy. Hear me now. This is coming from Dan Parry. Now, you all heard that there was a certain kind of ruffle of feathers. Some feathers were ruffled, my brother, my sister. And Mami Tiwa had to be hanked, better still, yanked from the police and into the presidency. Now, I hear Mami Tiwa is on her way to Iyoko. What is Iyoko? It is about economic crimes and organized whatever. It has to do with investigations and all that. Let me ask some questions. Is Mami Tiwa an investigator? Is she a trained investigator? Is it true that she's actually going to Iyoko? The last time we heard about Mami Tiwa in an investigation, it was a disaster. Was she framed as she claims? Now we're going to put her in another investigative sector. Are we okay? She's a policewoman. Love every time. But is she an investigator? Is she a trained investigator? Because the last time we heard about her in this investigation thing, it was a disaster. Why was it a disaster? Takoradi girls. We know where they are. We have picked up intelligence, and we will return them soon to their families. A few months later, they returned bones to the families. Some of the families collapsed. Some of them are still in psychiatric hospitals, never to recover. How can a senior policewoman, the chief, the boss of the CID, come to tell you that, hey, be rest assured, we have pinpointed with precision where your children are. We are going to return them to you soon. A few weeks later, they return bones to you. Yes, they fulfilled their promise. After all, they returned bones to you. Some of them collapsed. Some of them are still in the denial state. And what did Mami Tiwa say at the end of it all? Oh, I only said it to encourage the families. Jesus have mercy. Well, she said she never said that. But it was published all over the place by credible sites. I don't read my stories from sites that are not credible. I don't have a problem with Mami Tiwa. Spoken with her a number of times. Fine, beautiful woman. I love her. But Ghana first. Is she on her way to Iyoko? Another place that requires investigation. Please, the Takoradi girls' bones are still fresh in our minds. We do not want the bones of criminals. We want our stolen wealth brought to us. Bones can go into the grave, but we want our wealth back. I'm speaking in parables. Why is it that Dampari and Mami Tiwa cannot be together? Can we find out? And is it true that they are miles apart? What is the problem? Is Dampari's no-nonsense attitude putting so many people in his way? Then let him cut them to size, rather than bailing them out and pushing them into round holes when they are square pegs. Jesus have mercy. Well, Dampari is in the news. He says, do not keep 25 or more people in police cells. And I read, the Inspector General of Police, IGP Dr. George Akufu Dampari, has told officers not to keep up to 25 people in police cells. Interacting with his men on a tour of some police cells, he described the practice as archaic. He added that the practice does not serve anyone's interest since the cells are too small to host a lot of suspects. You can't put 25 people in that space. What we are saying is that irrespective of whoever is involved, whether it's a suspect, criminal or whatever, the humanity of that person is like ours, and we cannot take the dignity of that person away. We have to be very humanistic because it can happen to any one of us. So we need to push the agenda of all this cell overpopulation is eradicated. Push this agenda. Oh, well, some grammatical slip there. The IGP further urged the police officers he engaged to be brutally frank. I like that. Underline that. Brutally frank with the issues they are facing. My brother, my sister, in Ghana, suspects, criminals, my brother, are treated like demons. The prison is supposed to be a reformative institution. But in Ghana, it is a punitive system. You don't have adequate sleep. The taxpayers' money is used to feed you. The food they serve you has more insects than the food. If it's beans they are serving you, in fact, the beans has more weevils than the beans itself. If it is rice they are serving you, it has more stones and pebbles than the rice. A small fish can be shared with over 200 suspects. So what happens is that any suspect or any criminal who goes in there, convicted officially, the family would have to send food to them. The prison authorities know that no prisoner is interested in eating the prison's food because it's nothing but junk. My brother, the conditions in our prisons right now, when you check, I go to the prisons every time to play free concerts and feed the people. Because I could be a prisoner too. I remember my hero Kwame Nkrumah was once put in there. Mandela was put in there. Many great people had to taste the reality of prison before they became who destiny wanted them to be. What is Blakk Rasta saying? I've said this time and again. A suspect who is supposed to be taken to the court. The court date is here. The prison officer who is supposed to take him there will turn a blind eye towards the date. Why? Because there is no budget. There is no allocation for transport for him to take that suspect to the court. He has to spend from his own meager salary. The prison vans are not working. Some of them, the tires have been flat since 2 BC. Some of them, the engines have been stolen. And the whole box is sitting down there since 4 BC. Some of them, the driver died in an accident since 7 BC. And they couldn't find a new driver. For that matter, the new prison officer would have to spend money from his own pocket. Pick up the suspect, put him in a car, handcuff him, and take him there. This is so risky. How many of the prison officers are even well fed? Some of the prisoners, when food is brought to them from the house, the prison officers smell the aroma of the food and they are like, Jesus, I wish I was a prisoner. They share with the prisoners. Imagine Tagore or Namwan in there, or who else? Wyoming in there. I'm mentioning the names of people who have gone around those cycles. Imagine the kind of food they will bring to Namwan. Imagine the kind of food the family of Tagore will bring to him, or the family of Wyoming. A young prison officer. You are still battling with kenke and fish. Now they bring the food, 6-course meal for Namwan, 7-course meal for Tagore, 8-course meal for Wyoming. Your mouth would water. So you see the prison officers looking sickly, whilst the prisoners are growing fresh. Because, in fact, some of the things they couldn't even get whilst they were outside, now they are getting it all there. Smuggled in there by prison officers. What point is Blakk Rasta making? So they look healthier than the prison officers. They can beat the prison officer and escape. It's risky. So the prison officer would not risk it. Because if one prisoner escapes in the hands of a new officer, he is doomed. So he would forget the court date. Agent! The next court case, he's turned another blind eye. Agent! Hey! If he doesn't come the next time, he will give him 50 years in prison. He will turn a blind eye again, and he's in there. Not because he's guilty, but because the prison officer could not afford to take him in a taxi and risk his job to the court. Hallelujah. To God be the glory. My brother, to be a prisoner in this country, to go to prison in this country and come out, you don't need hell again. In fact, if there is anything called hell, no prisoner in Ghana would be scared of hell again. In the prisons, they sodomize them. In the prisons, Ekwapin Polo just spoke. Lesbianism is the main thing. They sodomize them night and day. Cucumbers, as fat as my arm, enter and come out at ease. You see a female prisoner's tongue, it's like the whole tongue of a crocodile, because it has licked juices, swallowed juices, it's become fat like a potro. Jesus. In the Ghanaian prison, my brother, my sister, Satan will beg never to enter there. Hey, if you have ever gone to prison in Ghana and you go to hell, all you need to tell Satan is that, hey, I was in a senior hell. Satan will salute you. I've been there. Did Ibrahim Sima not die there? What happened? People are sodomized. They shit by heart because they have been sodomized. Especially the young boys who smoked one spliff or the other, 17, 16, 18, and then they were arrested and sent there. Convicted without going to court because prison officer couldn't take them there in a taxi. The moment they arrive in there, hey, turn your back, hey, Kwasha, turn your back. He go chop your ass. Why? Dan Paris says, be humanistic. Prison is not supposed to be a punishment. It's supposed to reform. That's what Dan Paris says. Prison is supposed to reform. That is why our prisoners go in there and they come out more hardened. I know prisoners who went in there and came out and are begging to go back because they have become so hardened. They can't find their kind of lifestyle here. Jesus have mercy. Dan Paris, keep doing the work and keep making it happen. I'll leave it here. More comments another time. I have just 3 minutes to go. That's interesting. Today time has run so fast. But I wanted to look at this. Kwesi Pratt recounts how Napo stormed parliament in clutches after surgery in Dubai. Who is Napo? He used to be the Minister of Education, full of empty propaganda, careless talking, unwise statements. That is Napo. Kwesi Pratt said, he recounts how Napo stormed parliament in clutches after surgery in Dubai. Who paid for his surgery in Dubai? You and I. But today, even if my intestines have fallen out in Nima and I need quick surgery to put it back, if my family has no money, I'll die like a Christmas fowl. But they are superhuman. Small Qatar, they are running to Dubai. Small headache, they are in Holland taking injections. What is Kwesi Pratt saying? Listen. On the day of parliamentary debate on the electronic transaction levy bill, a member of parliament was spotted in clutches and being assisted into the house. The picture trended on social media with some Ghanaians questioning why the said MP would take that risk. I'll leave it there. We all heard about the impersonation. And the so-called minority has to be fair to us. Come back to us, a Blakk Rasta and the rest of them, and tell us, was there actually an impersonation? If there was none, let us know. Don't be quiet. Don't take us for fool. Hey, an MP was all the way in Europe. We had a chartered flight went to bring her and some other people into this country in order to vote for a slavish levy on Ghanaians. Napo was sick like a rat, carried all the way to Dubai, according to this statement. He went through surgery. Doctor advised him to stay and get well. No! I have to be in parliament because of the so-called hang parliament, so that I can vote for this slavish levy. The same loudmouth Napo, unwise Napo, who would tell you that if the Volta region, if they do the Ketasi defense, capture it in the budget, I'm going to vote against e-levy. Such idiotic talks. When I talk to people like this, I don't edit my words because they have no brains. Producer showed a photograph of Napo entering parliament with clutches. You should have shown it a long time ago so that the people can see what we're talking about. My brother, my sister, entering parliament and is being supported even after the 2 clutches, so that he would be able to go and vote for a slavish levy. Yet, my brother, I'm going to say something and close. If a little child in Nima was having a problem in a school and needed the education minister, now I think it's some fuel minister somewhere, wherever. No, they are sleeping. No, I'm with my family. I'm trying to fix my family's dinner. Oh no, I have to kiss my daughter good night before I come. They will find you all sorts of excuses to stay away from their responsibilities. But when it comes to political chess playing, they are master chess players. Put that picture there. That's him. Look at him. Somebody supporting him after surgery in Dubai. According to Kwesi Pratt, he came to vote for e-levy. Can you trust these people? Yet they come to you and talk back. You listen to them. How can the country grow? I leave it here. My name Blakk Rasta. It's been the Black Pot, aka Kukushunumo, where we always speak truth to power. Remember, I am not always right, but I strive as much as possible to be objective. It's all in the service of God and country, and it's for the development of our people, our continent, our land. It's been the Black Pot.
Why? Up,